Hi everyone. Today I want to show you how one-dimensional array works. So, but uh, before I demonstrate, I wanna just maybe explain why you would use and why you would not use a one-dimensional array. So let's say um, you are required to write a program, and then that program will have um, 10 elements in that array, and then those 10 elements in that array, they are of type string or type integer or type object, whatever object that you might create. Then, because of how many elements will be there in that array, then it is advisable to use a one-dimensional array, because you know how many elements will be in that array. So now, but if, let's say, your program, you are required to, maybe let's say, get some information from the database, maybe select all where id is equals to whatever, and then you don't know how many values will be returned by your query. So in that case, one dimensional array is not a suitable array that you would use to store the data. So there is another type of array, which is array list. I'll cover the array list, which is part of the collections framework for Java. So the array list is the one that you would use in that case, because of it is dynamic. So because of it allows you to store as many as, I don't know, whatever that your query will be returning. It will allow you to store those values in that array. So but I won't cover the array list, the collections in this tutorial. So but I just wanted to just explain that a one dimension array is not a dynamic um, array whereby you can add, remove, uh, at will. No. So you need to know how many elements will be in that array, so that you can be able to utilize or use this one dimensional array. So now let me just demonstrate um, how to use one dimensional array. So now you can see from here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start by declaring a string array that will store the names of an individual, like a person name, right? So I'm just gonna declare a string array, which you say string, and then you use this type of brackets, square brackets, and then I'll say here, I'll say names, and then I'll say equals to, let's say I need to store 5 elements or 5 values in my array. So you use curly brackets. So here I'm initializing my array with 5 elements basically. So now I'm gonna say curly brackets inside, I'm gonna say string because of it's of type string, my array. I'm gonna say Daniel, comma. I'm gonna say Seppo, comma. I'm gonna say Theo, and then I'm gonna say here Temba, and then I'm gonna say my last element will be, I'm gonna say uh, Zoe, let's say, right? So now this line here, this declaration, basically, what I'm saying here is I'm I'm declaring a variable called names, right, of type string, but it's not a, it's not um, just a normal variable. It's of type array because of this uh, square brackets here. So now I'm storing 5 elements, which is Daniel, Tepo, Theo, Temba, and Zoe, inside this array. So meaning I've defined the length or the size of my array here. So you can see this is fixed. So I'm telling my program to say create this array of type string. It will store names. So now, how would you access? How do you access these elements? So now let's say I need to display. I need to display. Um, I need to display. Okay, before I show you how to access the element. So an array. So how it's been defined is that this element. So this Daniel, this element for Daniel, uh, the index of this element is 0. So so an array, it will start with from 0 up until whatever number based on the elements in that array. So meaning here I've got 5 elements. So it means element 1 will be like 0, this will be 0, and then this will be 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. That's how these elements have been indexed basically. So now if I want to access Temba, let's say, so what I'm gonna do is, how I'm gonna access is that I'm gonna type my variable name. I'm gonna say names. This is my variable name. Then square brackets. Then I'm say element. I need to inside these brackets, square brackets. I need to mention the index of the element that I want to access or display. So I'll say, okay, this is 0, 1, 2, 3. So I'll say I want to access element number 3. Then let me just run my program and then you see it will display Temba. So I'm just gonna run it. Let's see. You see here, check here. It says Temba. So now that's how you access an element. So now let's say now I want to display all of these elements. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say here, I'm gonna use a for loop. I'm gonna say for, right? I'm gonna use a for loop here. I'm gonna use a for loop. I'm gonna say for, and then now I'm gonna say here, this it will loop through this the string array. I'm gonna get the name from names. Then here I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna say like that, so I'm gonna say name because of now when I loop, each element will be stored in this variable here, and then I'm gonna display each element via this line here. So let me just show you. I'm just gonna run it. You're gonna see. Yeah. So, so you can see I've looped through my string array. You can see all the elements have been displayed on the screen, right? So but now um let's say now I want to I have my array here. Sorry, I have my array here, but now I want to change the name of Temba of this element. Like I want to change the value of this element here, Temba, maybe to another name, let's say. So let's see how I will do it. So I'm just gonna remove this. Uh, okay, hold on. No, let me just put it back. So I'm just gonna put a new. line here and say, so I'm gonna say names element, let me see, 0 1 2 3 element 3 will equals to maybe let's say I'll say uh, dawn, let's say I'll say dawn, right? Then what's happening is what I'm saying here, I'm saying go to element number 3 and and change from Temba to dawn. Then when I run now, when I loop through my array, you're gonna see uh, you won't see Temba here, right? You're gonna see dawn. So I'm just gonna run it. Let's test it. Yeah. So you can see. So now I've manipulated my elements on my array, right? So basically, I've just showed you how to declare a one-dimensional array and initialize with values, right? And I've showed you how to change as well a value in an element, right? And I've shown you how to access an element in an array. So meaning it's either you, if you want to loop through all of them, you can use a for loop, or you can access an element using the name of the array, square brackets, and the index number that you wanna access. So, but now the problem now with this is that now, um, if you wanna, if you want to resize or you wanna add another element, because right now I've got five elements. If let's say I wanna include two more elements, it means I will have to reinitialize this this array. I can't dynamically with one line or I don't know what how many lines and add on top of this. No. So it means I'll have to do this. So now I have this, right? I have this. So now what I need to do is now, so I'm just gonna remove this line here. Then all I want to do is I'm saying here I'm gonna display those five elements, right? But I'm gonna reinitialize it or create this array again, create it again, and then I'm gonna add um, um, I'm gonna say Hilda, and I'm gonna say um, I'm gonna say Solo. So now let me say it. So yeah, so now I'm just recreating my string array again here. I have to recreate it again here. Then now I can loop through this new array. Then this new array, what's gonna happen is it's gonna have the top one will only show five elements, but the bottom one will show extra two elements, which is Hilda and Cell. So let's run it and see. Run. Okay, let's see. Okay, maybe let's put. I'm gonna put. Uh, I'm just gonna put this like a new line so that I can split. I'm just gonna put like yeah, like that empty string there. Um, let's see. Let's run. Yeah. So now you can see the first array, which is the initial array, is showing five elements. You can see here Daniel, Tepo, Theo, Temba, and Zoe. Then my second, because of now, I wanted to resize or to increase this names array. So now I had to recreate it. As you can see here, I'm using new and the string array of these elements. So now I recreated this first array here. I recreated it here so that I can increase the number of elements, and then which is, you can see from here, Daniel, Tepo, Theo, Temba, Zoe, plus this these two new elements, Helda and Solo. So this is basically, this is how um, you would use a one-dimensional array, right? And then this is how you would access an element in an array by using an index number, the name of the array, square brackets, and the index inside. Then you can access that particular element in an array. But as you can see, this type of an array, it works fine if you know that you won't be able to, or you don't want to add, remove, manipulate basically um, the array. So basically, you would use it if you know that, okay, I'm gonna have 5 elements or 10 elements or 15 elements, and then I'm just gonna display them or access one element or 2 elements and then display them or do whatever with those elements. But if your program or your requirements are that you're gonna start manipulating the data or the elements a lot, let's say like you wanna access, you wanna resize, you wanna increase the elements in an array, those kind of operations, then this type of an array is not suitable for that type um, of a scenario. So on my next video, I will show you now another type of an array that is dynamic, meaning it will be able to resize at will based on whatever your program will be doing. Like you can increase, decrease the array elements, you'll be able to remove elements, and then you will see now the other type of an array, which is part of the collection framework, um, whereby it will be an array list class, or a linked list. You know, so I will explain those collections, those type of arrays, uh, on my next video. I thank you.